or a fat trade paperback flocking to the
I'm joined by the amazing Allison O'Toole, Dan Price, Andre Owen, Fred Kennedy,
Chip Zdarsky. Chip, thanks for coming.
What's up, folks? I'm your host, Konrad, on Wednesday Night Reviews, and tonight I'm joined by Aaron, and we're going to talk about their new book, Ice and Bone, on Kickstarter now. Aaron, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, happy to have you. I must say your book looks fantastic. Thank you for sending me over the previous issue so I could sort of check it out.
Welcome.
Very fun. So, Aaron, just to kick off the interview, for the folks out there who've maybe never seen your face, never heard your name, who is Aaron?
Aaron is originally from Scotland, as you can tell by my accent. Living in Kentucky, because that's where my wife is from.
Cool.
Was in the military. Started writing pretty much from then, because I used to go to the cinema with friends. Used to ridicule the movie, and then they said, "Well, if you can do better, then do better." And I went like, "Okay, I will." So it kind of started my writing career, hobby really, and it kind of went on from there. Really, I started writing scripts, got into comics through writing a script that an agency liked, Enenra. This is like a post-apocalyptic horror. Didn't really catch on with any of the studios, but one of the actual agents thought it would be a kick-ass graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
So I luckily they had some artists on board on their books. One of them was Ezekiel, who does the actual artwork for Ice and Bone as well, and its prequel, Blood and Fire. So I've had a great relationship with him since starting. God, it must have been 6-7 years now. Damn, that's long. Yeah,
it was quick.
It does. So we started with Enenra. Just finished issue 5 not long ago. So cool. He's in the midst of finishing that, and then once he's finished that, his next is Ice and Bone, if it gets funded. So that is his schedule. I'm keeping him busy.
Well, it looks like that won't be an issue. So, knock on wood and all the good stuff, break a leg and all that. But so far from what I'm seeing, what I've read, and also the Kickstarter page, it looks awesome. I'm actually going to bring that up simply because my next question for you is going to be, Aaron, tell us about Ice and Bone and a little bit about Blood and Fire.
Yeah, it starts with Blood and Fire, so you can get the previous copies on the Kickstarter. You can catch up both digital and physical. You can actually get the 1 to 3 and variants as metal covers too for collectors. They are in the add-ons. It starts with Blood and Fire, following Nakaki, who's like a samurai, very honorable family man. And then his master is called to his eldest brother, who is like seriously ill, dying, and they're betrayed. All hell breaks loose. And then basically it's Nakaki's going for revenge for being betrayed, and it's kicks ass. It's like samurai action with a bit of horror elements in it too.
Absolutely. Well, one thing like that, there's a number of things I want to ask about, but one thing that sort of drew me to the book was just the way it's written, the lack of too much text. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it, but you allow scenes to breathe, you allow things to happen, so that we can really get pulled in by it and the chaos that happens in that first issue. I guess to start with, because it's a fun question I like asking and learning how people do this, what kind of research went into this? And is it based off of an actual historical event, or is this something you totally came up with on your own?
It's really started off purely by accident, because Ezekiel I follow on Instagram, Big fan of all of his artwork, and he posted a picture of a samurai, and I commented jokingly, "Oh, this would be a kick-ass character in a graphic novel," and he goes, "Write one." So we're like, so I'm like, okay, I like the genre. I kind of did some research with like different kind of times, times and things like that. Like, and this time period is like when the central government has lost control of the country. It's anarchy. Warlords are trying to take over. No one really knows what the hell's going on. Alliances are made and broken. It's complete chaos, which I felt was really good for the storyline. When someone's betrayed, and then I always lean towards horror. I don't know why. I just do.
Okay.
And this, I was like supernatural kind of horror elements kind of twisted in the background too. So that kind of comes more into it in the second and third chapter of Blood and Fire.
Okay.
And then it gets even more chaotic in Ice and Bone. Because I actually wasn't going to do it. It was just going to be a 3-chapter done. And then, but I always wanted muskets, and I usually in my Kickstarters I give options for backers to be in the comic, and the storyline.
I love those.
Yeah, because that's one of the highest. That's the highest tier of this one. And 1 to 3 just didn't the story just didn't allow any kind of Western or people to be in it.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't want to spoil the storyline just to have like a gimmick of someone in the background. So, but this one, I kind of went back to bare bones, kind of what the storyline was, and then mercenaries, and like they are. So you can be a bloodthirsty mercenary. You can get killed very violently, very gorely. And you also get a 8.5 by 11 picture of your character with your little photo in it, if you wish it or not. You don't have to. I'll give you the option of having your photo in the print, and it will be signed digitally by myself and the artist.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Like I've always appreciated when a Kickstarter campaign or any crowdfunding really, but I find it mostly on Kickstarter. When you guys offer the for such a dollar figure be put in the next book. I love those. And the idea of being able to give them like an 8 by 11 of themselves as the character plus their photo. Yeah. Nice.
Because it's not just a bit piece. It's not just one panel and then done. Like for the Enenra chapter 5, no one actually picked tier, but I did offer it for free as a kind of a draw. So you get picked randomly, and you get put into the comic. I messaged the guy. He put his someone close to him in the comic, and it worked perfectly because they're gonna be pretty much in the first 3 chapters as a main character.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I won't tell you what happens to him, but yeah, it's not just a bit character, but it just kind of fit perfectly with who I visioned the person to be, and it just kind of fell into place perfectly. So it's been really good fun.
I dig it. I'm glad that happened to work out so well.
Yeah.
Then I guess one thing I'll start by asking is sort of related to the art.
Yes.
So Ezekiel's art, because we can see it up here on the website. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah, and it in ways reminds me of either a mix of manga as well as sort of classic Japanese art, like just the way the line work is done.
Yeah.
And I checked out because you sent it over kindly, an Enra, which he also worked on, and it's a very different art style. So when it comes to you guys teaming up and getting this book made, what I guess I wanted to ask was, Was it an ask on your end to tweak the art style? Did Ezekiel just do that?
He
Like,
just did it. He nailed it straight off. Like I said, that's from issue 2, chapter 2, page 1. And then scroll down, and it's like from chapter 3. Yeah,
yeah.
it's all him, all his know-how and what I kind of really wanted, and like the details, like in the trees alone, it's
Oh yeah, like all the
incredible.
bark
You
and
you
everything.
just feel it, as you know, with the artwork. It makes me look good. Like my little paragraph, he creates that. It's like it makes my life so much easier.
Perfect. Like that. One of the things that I think when I started reading the first issue, um, was visually like the way the clothing is drawn, the way the buildings are drawn, the trees in this page.
Yeah,
It is all so textured that you can kind of feel it, and
yeah,
it helps me mentally, for me anyway, to get into the book. And then, like I was saying earlier, the way that you've written things and the dialogue specifically being so minimal and allowing like tense situations to sit, even if it's just a panel or two between two characters, I thought it was very intriguing. Um, from a writing perspective, what sort of challenges did this story present to you, or was it just like from the get go
to be
walk
honest,
through?
this one was really easy. It was probably one of the easiest I've written. It just flowed, and especially the Ice and Bone. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing it, and then it just kind of fell into my lap, and I started writing it. I'm like, damn, I've just written like 3 chapters. Editing took a bit longer because I
Of
had to kind of
course.
split where action kind of left wanting more, and but like most of them, I think 3 are like 28 pages and one's like 44. So it all everything has action. All the chapters have action in it, blood, death, bleh. So it just seemed to gel really quickly to the point where I just didn't do a lot, to be honest. It just wrote itself.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what? I've heard a lot that from different writers when they've said this basically in some capacity is that once you get into it and you get going, you're not writing anymore. Sort of the characters are telling you what's happening. Did you find it kind of felt like that?
Yeah. Yeah. The most tricky part was the why. Why is this happening?
Okay.
Why is the Lord's youngest brother, Keotane, why is he, so obsessed and, well, not really obsessed, but so angry and bitter to his brother?
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of felt that wasn't really explained as much in Blood and Fire, and that kind of drew me back to the why, and I kind of wanted to explain that he isn't the all bad that he kind of gets labored with, and it kind of explains why he did some of the things he did, and you kind of follow a little bit of his story as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I like
Yeah,
that. Now,
there's a lot more there's a bit more backstory in Ice and Bone to explain certain things, and like when you see that page, you'd be like, oh, that's they kind of like a bit of a surprise, kind of why. That's the
yeah.
kind of the reason why I kind of started doing it.
Okay, cool. Now, one thing I wanted to clarify, just because of some of the stuff you said a little earlier. Um, so the first book, Blood and Fire, is a one issue or is it 3 issues?
Blood and Fire is 3 issues,
3 issues. Okay,
and
then
Ice and Bone is going to be 4.
nice. And what's the time gap in the story between the two?
I would say a couple of months different. From the finishing of Blood and Fire 3 to Ice and Bone 1, you're probably looking at maybe a couple of months time difference.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it really picks up quite close after that one finished too, because when I can't really spoil it, can I?
Yeah, no,
It's 3, yeah. So
Yeah.
it follows on from where 3 finishes with the big surprise of like and everything, blah 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 blah.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
the fallout of the last series is what sort of kicks
Yeah.
off this one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Blood
cool.
Blood and Fire is its kind of own. It still finishes, so it can be its own entity. But if you want more to the storyline, then Ice and Bone follows it.
Okay, cool. Then I guess we're about 15 minutes in. So I always do like to ask at this point about the different tiers and rewards.
Yeah.
Um. Oh,
Oh.
hello. So for the folks out there tuning in either now or sometime in the next 26 days, what are the different tiers available? And even if you start like 2 inexpensive ones, and then if you want to go into the crazy stuff, go for it.
Yeah, obviously the first reward is the digital for chapter 1. For that's $10. For 20, you get digital catch up. So you get all the backstories of Blood and Fire for $20 plus Ice and Bone. For 15, you've got the physical of
Yep.
chapter 1. And then after that, you kind of go into the different variant covers. So you've got the Gonzalez variant. So if you get that, you also get the digital package, which is the cover, Virgin cover, and a desktop wallpaper. Same with the Hiblin or Mark's variant there. Same, you get the digital package.
Okay.
With them, and then it goes into like catch up, physical catch up. We have upgraded chapters, both retail and the variant covers. So you get the physical copy, and the upgrade is the metal cover.
Ooh.
So you get 2. You get the collector's metal cover, and you get the normal cover. The normal whatever you choose, variant or the retail.
Yeah.
And then if you obviously click any of the physical rewards, you get access to the add-ons, which can be pretty much all the comics are available. 1 to 3 retail of Blood and Fire, all the variant covers for Blood and Fire. All of them are available on metal covers too for collectors. So you can get like that one there is like the variant catch up, so you can actually choose which variant you want from Blood and Fire 1, 2, 3 and Ice and Bone.
That's cool.
And then if you scroll down further, there's the upgraded variants for Ice and Bone, and then further down you should have like the big one, which is the full collection. So every single book you can get. Up to chapter 1 of Ice and Bone. So every single, you get all the variant packages too. That's included. So that's that, and then the last one will be in the comic. There's 3 for this chapter. Depending on how it goes, there could be more. I've kind of tried to keep it so there's 3 characters in each novel that I'm kind of picturing. So it doesn't matter on it. Kind of try and keep it like normal age, like 18 up.
Yeah,
because you're going to be violently taken out.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, but I can't really put like a 5-year-old wielding bloodthirsty axes charging at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, common sense, people.
Exactly. No, good point. So I guess one of the other questions I had, Aaron, was regarding the writing. For some reason, this question like ran at me. So I find samurai stories are generally fairly rigid when it comes to how they play out, especially when it comes to things like 47 Ronin, questions of honor, and redeeming themselves. And when it comes to writing, I've always been told from writers that they're like, yeah, so when you have nothing, no sort of focus or no sort of narrowing, you have this sort of fear of choice, and you get overwhelmed by it. But if you have a little bit of restrictions, they can help. Did you
Yeah.
find that the genre of, say, samurai, the restrictions on it helped with the creativity?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you kind of always want a kind of clear path of where you want to take your story and characters. Um, for me, this one, like I said, it kind of wrote itself. It was very, it's very hard to explain. Like usually, like my current one I'm writing, it's taking forever. I mean,
Ah,
I'm not struggling. It's just like connecting the dots. There's places I want to be. It's just the path to get there within like 28 pages. It's like
yes.
I'm hitting my head against a wall in some regards. But like yesterday, I had some inspiration, and I'm kind of like, oh, that's a good idea. So I wrote a few notes down. So because I'm writing a science fiction horror,
Ah,
kind of
okay.
on the genre of Aliens, Event Horizon, that kind of thing. So I've written the first story arc of 4 issues. I'm on to the sequel, and I think there's going to be like 3 volumes of that, so it's kind of a big one. So I'm excited about that. I've got a publisher who's quite interested in it too after reading the scripts. So
Good for you.
fingers crossed in that. But yeah, this one kind of there wasn't really too much restrictions, I wouldn't say, because I was putting the slight elements of horror and supernatural in the background.
Yeah.
I could pretty much go any direction I wanted, but I wanted to keep it as grounded as I could, but keeping the elements still there. So that's kind of
Oh,
it was a
interesting.
kind of a fine line between like balancing act between them two.
Beautiful. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Do you find writing the different genres presents different problems, or is it kind of one go at it, if you will?
Yeah, I kind of just go at it really because I'm the writer.
Nice.
So it's like if it doesn't gel and I don't like it, just delete it and go somewhere else. Um, but yeah, I usually if I have an idea, I won't write anything down for like 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll mull it in my head.
Yeah, let it
And
just
if
sort
it's
of.
still there after 3 or 4 weeks, then I start writing notes down, write a treatment, which is like page to maybe two
Yeah.
pages of like an outline. And then if I still like it and I'm thinking it's got some potential, then I start writing a proper outline with issues. So issue 1 this happens, issue 2, issue
Ah.
3, which allows me to kind of put things where they need to be to see how it flows. And then I start
Yeah.
writing the individual issues.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's very cool. I appreciate the structured approach to it because I've heard some writers' methods, and from what I've read about others, like the bigger comics creators, they always sort of do it a little differently. So I appreciate like
Yeah.
sharing that kind of structured method.
We
Um,
in one of the actual
yeah.
add-ons is Blood and Fire Script 1. You can actually get this
Oh,
copy of the script,
super cool.
and then you can compare the pages. I have not edited it because some of the pages I've written, he's done something differently, and it's worked. So
Oh,
I am all
interesting.
about his artistic flair that he has, not free reign, but if he thinks, oh, that panel needs to be here, or
Mhm.
I'll merge these 3 panels, which I've set out into one big one,
Yeah.
then and it works. Then I kind of alternate to him because he's been doing this for a lot longer than me, and he's a natural, and he's got fucking bukus of talent.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Then I do want to touch on that. Do forgive me, Aaron. I've got to go deal with my dog very briefly.
Okay.
Would you be so kind, though, to tell the folks at home what has been your favorite part of this process so far of creating
Ooh.
Ice and Bone? I would say as well as Blood and Fire because there's so much of it now.
Yeah. The best for me is to have it in your hand when you get the print, the first print in your hand, and like you have that comic smell. Nothing like it. But for me, because I started after writing scripts, it's helped a lot because you kind of visualize what the director will do in the script, which helped me doing each individual panels, so I can visualize what I kind of want in each panel, write the script through that way. Because and then chapter 1, the first one, because I wrote it as a script, took ages to turn into a comic because Ezekiel was drawing off a like a screenplay. So this is very weird talking to myself. But so yeah, I kind of from then on I changed all the scripts to comics, did a hell of a lot of research into templates, and been going ever since. And he's still not back yet. Don't know what else to say. But yeah, hopefully, if you are a creator out there wanting to see how I write, it's $3 add-on. You can get your hands on Blood and Fire Chapter 1 script, all full 28 pages. Anything else I can think of? Back it. And he's back. Yay!
My apologies there, Aaron.
Okay.
My dog decided to be a little pesky. I could see from the corner of my eye he was about to get into something he shouldn't. So I guess one of the things also that sort of came to mind when I was going through the books was sort of, as I mentioned before, the writing in it is very minimal. When you're approaching writing, whether it's samurai or sci-fi,
Yeah.
what is it that you like to emphasize to sort of move your story forward? Like, what makes you interested in those stories?
I think visually is what I love. I mean, every artist I've been working with, excuse me, that coffee's not sitting well.
Fair.
But yeah, that's kind of why my dialogue, if I can get away with using 6 words instead of 20, I'll use the 6, just to keep
Right on.
the bubbles small, so you can see more of the illustrations. I mean, he works so damn hard to do these illustrations. I don't want to you see that tiny little guy next to a bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I try and keep it as minimalistic as I can.
Okay. Then I guess one thing I've asked this many times before to other creators, when you're scripting and you're writing everything out, as people can see if they get the appropriate tier and add-on, they can get the script. When you're giving Ezekiel those the scripting and the notes, how much are you leaving up to him, and how much is sort of dictated? I want to see this exact thing, and this has to look this specific way.
I try and give him the benefit of the doubt because, like I said, he's been in the industry a lot longer than me. He knows it. I mean, the artwork looks, it's tells its own story. It's amazing. I suppose occasionally I mentioned, can you just tweak this a little bit? Like there's one instance in chapter 3 where someone's been killed violently, and there's 2 guys in the background. One's gasping and one's throwing up. But it's kind of, I wanted them kind of like, can you just swap them just a little bit, so that one's a bit more prominent. It's just little things like that, little tweaks. But 99% of it, it's all him. It's he goes from my little, like I said, my little waffle on a paragraph, panel 1, blah blah blah, and then he creates that. I mean, I don't know how he does it. It's incredible.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the art and the coloring and all that stuff, the going with a pseudo old school Japanese, like the I forget his name now and I feel like a monster. The black and white film look.
Yeah, like the Seven Samurai.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
I forget the director's name or the creator's name behind those, but yes.
Was it Akira? Was it?
Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, I'm struggling now.
Where is it? Kurosawa. There it is.
There you go. Yeah, because actually, Nakaki was based on the Japanese actor Hiroji Sanada, Scorpion, and he's in Shogun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was the main kind of inspiration for Nakaki. So yeah, always love him in anything he does. He's like probably one of my favorites.
Now that you said it,
yeah, he was the inspiration for him.
Bear with me. I want to put that on the screen now.
Yeah. So like his portrayal of Scorpion when they do the backstory of him with his family and kid, I'm like, oh my god, that is like so close to what I'm visualizing, and it just that movie kicked ass. I was really chuffed how it turned out. I'm looking forward to number 2.
They did a very good job on that one.
Yes.
So that's the actor.
Yep.
And that's the drawing. And yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Very nice. I'm assuming you passed the note along saying, "Hey, this is kind of what I wanted." Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it would be a freaky coincidence.
No, it was definitely planned. I mean, I kind of gave him reference. I usually give like reference pictures,
Nice.
especially for the science fiction one I'm doing. I give like Jupiter, or like if I look online and find like a spaceship I like, like, can you base it on this? Things like that, just to help them out, rather than a blank canvas and like paint me a starship. Yeah, good one.
Statement: paint me a starship. Anything you want, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Go nuts.
So, one thing I get excited to ask about it is sort of Kickstarter, because Kickstarter, as I understand it, gives you quite a bit of information as a creator. Now, currently, you're just shy of halfway. This is Canadian dollars, by the way.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, that's gone up. No.
I've got to warn people when they come on the show, because I'm like, you got to remember it's Canadian. So, of 4,740 total Canadian dollars, which is the goal, you're at 2,305.
Yeah,
which is like
just I think it's like 48%, just shy of 50.
Yeah, you're almost there. You've got 26 days to go. Now, I'm assuming you previously you used Kickstarter for your other books, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all on Kickstarter.
Right on. Now, my question for you is basically, when it comes to the backers so far, are you finding you're getting a lot of return backers? And geographically, where's like the most interesting backers that you've had?
Surprisingly, Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like there's been one guy, John O. I don't know what the O stands for.
Go John.
But he's been following me forever, it seems like, and he's always commenting on like comments on updates and things like that. So he's probably, I would say, he was one of my number one fans. But yeah, I'm getting quite a lot of good feedback from the storyline. The art obviously is killer. The actual lettering as well is done by SK. He's on Facebook. So yeah, there's been a lot of good feedback. So I'm hoping it'll continue and people enjoy the storyline, because it gets a bit more into the supernatural elements and the horror as the story goes along. But I'm enjoying it. Still nervous and have sleepless nights. Like refresh. So I'm not touching it. Refresh.
You gotta fight yourself, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, given the amount of times you've done this, it definitely feels like you're set up to be successful. You know what you're doing. I guess I haven't asked this in a long time, but it's a fun question. Aaron, do you yet think of yourself as Aaron comic book creator, or are you still Aaron accountant, or whatever your day job is? Who happens to
I
write
suppose I
comics?
should, because I actually, and then chapters 1 to 4 is published through Marcosia. It's on Amazon. You can buy the book. Blood and Fire will be released soon through Red 5 Comics.
Right on.
The difference between mine and their release is mine's bigger. My
Oh.
comic is not the standard size; it's slightly bigger, both width
cool.
and height. It's 8 by 10.5.
Oh, that's a big book.
Yes, every comic I do is slightly big, just something a little extra to give back to the backers. So yes, they're all slightly bigger. So that's because actually it was funny. A couple of days ago, someone shared, put my name in a post. I'm like, why did they put my name in a post? I looked at it. It's like Aaron Wroblewski in bleedingcool.com. I'm like, oh my god. I'm on bleedingcool.com. Oh my god!
That is
like,
so cool.
Yes. So yeah, I suppose I should say that I'm an author. I've got books, published. It's just sometimes hard to think. I kind of still think this is a hobby that, cost me an arm and a leg to finish. Because even through Kickstarter, usually the shipping I have to pay for my own pocket. So it's very. I think the only one that's actually made any slight money was Chapter 3 of Blood and Fire. Like my last one, which is like an exorcism, like an exorcist horror, The Grey Man. Though it funded, there was a lot of like cancellation charges, errored out, and I lost a bit on that. So that's gonna be tough to. I'm still gonna make it. I'm still gonna send it out. It's just gonna take a little bit longer because I'll be coming out of my money rather than the Kickstarter. But yeah, so it's Kickstarter. I would not be able to do this without it. The backers are amazing. The legends. Because I've decided from this going forward that all the backers all their names will be put in the digital comic.
Okay.
But I can't put them in the printed because obviously I have to. It's like divided by 4 pages. Each one's 4 pages.
Yeah, you'd have to have
and
a
this,
mighty big one.
Yeah, so this is 28 pages, so I can't put, 4 pages of names. So they'll be in the digital version, but they won't be in the printed
physical
version.
Yeah.
And I'll speak to Red 5 Comics if they're willing to put it into the printed version, or kind of separate those who were physical backers and put them in, and just keep the rest as the digital. But I'll have to speak to them if it's possible, because they have to do their own editing to put everything together for their release. So that's my plan. So we'll see how it goes. Kickstarter is great. I mean, it's a great platform. I can't give it any faults. It's just I would sometimes wish that when people pledge, it would take the money straight away, rather than wait or hold it. So you can still cancel it. You're not forced. When you pledge, you're not forced to go. But I wish they kind of took the money, holding it until the end of the funding. So then there's no kind of 16 backers have errored out, and then you've lost $1,000. Yeah,
fair. No, that's interesting. That's a part of it again, that the consumers, the fans, the people who want to support these books, that they just don't see. And it's something that I don't normally, for whatever reason, hasn't come up in conversation, but it's interesting. And I agree. I think, it would be handy for you guys if, say, if I pledged to the book, it collected the funds right away, held them, and then at the end of the period, it was just like, hey, do you want to get the book or not?
Yeah. You can cancel it throughout, the campaign. If you pledged it and they're holding it, you can just click a button that says, I've got a bill to pay. I can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. So then either you can change the pledge, to a lower tier, or cancel it, and then you get the money back. So, I mean, it does. I think it will stop a lot of the trolls as well. The little shady kind of, backers. But that's just
we'll put in a pledge and then at last minute back out or whatever.
yeah. But I think you'll probably never get rid of those, unfortunately. Nature of the beast.
Yeah, and then again, like I hope people don't do that, but I know it does happen. But these things happen. Keep moving forward. You'll keep making great books. Now, Aaron, one question I had. So the company that's going to be putting Blood and Fire together for you, what's their name?
Red 5 Comics.
Red 5 Comics. And are they doing the printing for you as well?
No, I print myself because it's a different size. They can't do like random 20, like random like 79 books at this size and then the rest thousands at this size. So I have to print them myself.
And that's for Ice and Blood. Yeah, for Kickstarter. But when they're doing the collection of Blood and Fire, are they handling everything for you like a proper publishing house? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. And they're based in Kentucky as well?
No, I don't actually know where they're based, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, they reached out to me when I was doing the Enenra series.
Cool.
Said they loved it. Do you have a publisher? And I said, well, unfortunately, I do. But I'm actually doing this Kickstarter soon. I kind of gave them samples of the artwork and the chapter 1, and then I actually gave them chapter 2 and 3 script, and they loved it.
Oh wow!
And signed me on pretty much straight away.
Nice.
So yeah, and then they're excited for Ice and Bone too. So it's going really well. So yeah, it's chapter 1 of Ice and Bone comes out in May in stores. So they are, I think, the book should be in the US. I think they said end of March. So, and then they can distribute it out to all the places where it goes. I don't know. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Maybe you don't know yet. And this might be just something for you to ask the publisher later. Yeah. But do you know if you'll be in previews?
I have no idea. This is all new to me. This is all new to me.
Then, you know what? I would definitely ask them if you're going to be in previews. Are you aware of what that is when I say that? No. Okay. So in Canada and in the States, as I know it's the same down there, basically I believe it's every month. I could be wrong about that, but I believe it's every month. Okay. Comic book shops get a book called Previews. It's a magazine technically, but it's basically a catalog of everything coming out. And all the indie publishers get put in it. So I would imagine you'd be able to... Yeah, you'd be able to go to a comic shop, find it. So just for yourself, maybe go ask Previews or go ask your publisher, hey, will it be in and when can I find it? Because then, you'd be able to get like a special little code. You could tweet it out and say, hey, folks, go to your little local comic shop. Here's the code. They can order it right out of the Previews. Which should just be cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to ask them that. I have no idea. So this is, like I said, this is all new to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Well, thank you for sharing that, Aaron. Because like for me, most of the people I speak with, right, they've been here all their lives. They've been entrenched in comics all their lives, so they know previews. They know all that kind of stuff, right? So when I ask about like publishing, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's this." Yeah. With you, very much so. It seems like you said, you're new to this, so it's just kind of exciting.
Yeah, like when I go on to shows and stuff like that, they talk about, oh, I met this such and such an artist, and like he did there, it was really cool. I was like, no idea who that is.
Amazing.
What up? I'm going for my first Comic-Con in June, the Nashville Comic-Con. I'm gonna because I want to do a table, but I've never been to one. So it's kind of more of a fact-finding mission because it's my son's birthday, and he loves dressing up, cosplaying. So I'm taking him and his friend as a birthday treat down to Nashville So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be taking a lot of notes, a lot of pictures. So
Nice.
hopefully get some inspiration for what I need to do for my table next year. So if you're a Nashville Comic Con 2025, hopefully you'll be there.
I love it. One bit of advice that I have heard from people who've been on my show, as well as like local creators who I've met up with.
Yeah.
When you're there, talk to all the creators, the comic
Yes.
creators. Talk to them about tabling and all that good stuff, because it will help you a lot.
Yeah, because because I'm on various Facebook groups, creators and like help each other. And Carissa Grant is going to be there, so I'm kind of going to be
Right on.
picking her brain because she's a machine. I mean, she does
Yes.
like
Oh my God,
20
is she
comics a year. It seems like she's always doing a Kickstarter, and she's crazy. I don't know how she does it.
Awesome. No, that is so true. She will be able to help you out a lot.
Yes.
That being said, Aaron, we've kind of come to the end of the interview. I've got two last easy questions for you, I hope.
Okay.
So one, what is it currently that you're reading?
I've actually got a lot of Kickstarter comics.
Oh,
is what I'm
awesome.
reading. I don't read any mainstream stuff. Nothing really interests me much. So all the Kickstarters I've been backing, I've been delving into them. What's it called? I did love. Saying that, I do love Saga.
Yes.
I've started getting the volumes for my son to read. Like each birthday, I usually get like him a volume. So I'm itching. I'm itching for the next volume so I can read it. It is his present, not mine. So yeah, it's all the comic creators. Their stuff is. I think it's because they don't have as many rules to follow. Like, they don't have to. Oh, you have to keep it like PG-13, blah blah blah. You can't have swearing. You can't do this. You can't have Spider-Man ripping someone's head off and like waving his spine around. But we can. There is
absolutely
literally no rules telling us we can't do it. So, we can create a 5,600 page comic if it funds. We create it. I mean, it's as simple as that. So, I think that's why a lot of the stories are so great, is because there's no filter, there's no censorship, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just the pure story, what the writer wants to write within reason. Obviously, they have to streamline it to whatever page they want to limit themselves to.
Yeah.
But if they want to make a 44-page, each issue for 50 issues, then have at it. Go for it. Yeah. So it's Carissa is doing a fantastic job with hers. It's kind of given me like inspiration, because Enenra is 16 issues. It's all outlined. I've written up to the third volume. Like, I'm halfway through the third volume, so the second volume is done written. So her going, I think she's on number 9 now. So that kind of gives me the, like, I can do it too.
I love it.
Not as fast as her, but I will get there.
That's awesome, Aaron. I'm so glad to hear you're enjoying it. And to the folks out there, follow Aaron. Get a lot of Kickstarter books and enjoy the indie. Aaron, my last question for you. Who do you think I should have on next?
Have you had Carissa on?
I have, yeah.
Travis. Yeah, I have her back. She's got probably 6 more issues coming out. I mean, Travis Gibb, he's fantastic. He gets some. So he's probably one I would go for.
I think you're the second person to tell me that.
Yeah. I can always mention you if you want me to get him to reach out to you.
I would love that.
Okay, I can send him your way. There's loads. That's the thing. There's too many to name. So yeah, I just kind of follow various Kickstarters and things like that. So yeah, Carissa's the main one I kind of follow. Her stuff is amazing.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
John Westhoff, He's pretty good. Um, so I'm kind of looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen his stuff on my timeline.
Oh, Caleb. I can't pronounce his surname. Thosat.
Oh.
I think that's his. Steroids. I'll ping you some names so you can surprise your next audiences.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Aaron, absolutely, it's been a blast speaking with you. Briefly, do me a favor, and once again mention what is your book, and of course, what is the sort of minimum buy-in someone would need to get the book?
Okay. Ice and Bone is the sequel to Blood and Fire. The minimum buy-in tier is the Chapter 1 digital, which is $10. For $20,
Nice.
you can get the backup, all the previous chapters, so you can get the complete digital kind of catch up for $20. And then all the different tiers kind of goes down to the collector's editions with metal covers. You can get a samurai model, which is like 6 inches, which
Yes.
I've painted myself. There is currently 6 available, but the printer is just waiting for me to get more if more are needed. So it will come with the base separate and the sword separate, purely for shipping. But bit of glue, as you can tell by the one standing, you can't tell.
Yeah, no, like that looks awesome. I think that's super cool. I also did want to shout out these. I just thought these were super cool.
Yeah, they are pretty damn cool. I have a friend from my previous workplace who does the laser etching, and he kind of ingrains the laser etching with red dye, which is like heated and kind of melds into the writing. So that one there is from Blood and Fire. So that's the title in Japanese, Blood and Fire. You can have it in black, white, or black and pink. You have different sheaths.
Cool.
You can have it with the -1, -2, -3 if you want the whole collection, or you can have just the title, like that one there.
Like this
so you
one?
don't have. Yes, that's just the title.
Oh.
So you can see the -2 there on the white. It kind of just makes out. So you have the -1, -2, -3 to make a collection, or you can just have it as just the title. And for Blood and Fire, for Ice and Bone, you have the blue one, which will have the Ice and Bone title in it.
Ooh.
And each chapter will be a different samurai katana. So you can have the -1 again to -4 to have the collection, or you can just have the title. It's entirely up to you.
I feel like, as someone who loves physical copies, as you can tell,
Yes.
that collectors out there will absolutely need to get these, specifically like this type of a stand, because that's beautiful.
Yeah, it comes with a stand.
Oh, and then that ought to sit right in front of, what's that company? Wham stands, I think they make one. That hold the comic up, but those sitting in front of it would look gorgeous.
Because I have actually seen, because it's technically a key ring. Because those ones I've actually taken the key ring off, but
you've got the little.
But you can actually file it down, so it's smooth. So I've seen people do that, and like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that, because one of my friends at work actually got one.
Cool.
Like clipped the little tag and then just filed it down a little bit until it's smooth. You can't tell. It just looks like a normal sheath.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, you have an amazing book. You have some really cool merch. And absolutely, people should go check out your book, Ice and Bone, on Kickstarter now. Go stop watching the interview, go to the links, back it, get the books, for $20, get all 4 of them, the 3 Blood and Fire, and now Ice and Bone. because they're amazing. And once again, Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Glad to hear it, man.
Yeah.
And for the folks out there in YouTube land, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Aaron. If you've read Blood and Fire, let me know what you thought about them down below. And
please do. I like hearing how people like it.
Perfect. And we'll see you next time.
Golden age to present, digest to oversize. Never miss new comic day. Yeah, no surprise. So where's my no prize? Check the letter columns. Can't find issue 2.